Welcome back, everybody. It's another episode of the Cadre Concept. I'm your co-host, Chris Angel, here with your host, Shane McGraw. Hello, Shane. Hey.
What is the good word, Mr.
As
Chris
you say,
Angel?
hey, good word. Lots of words.
What's happening?
Well, I'm feeling good off the heels of our last conversation. The triangle of trust is what we went. If you guys missed that, go back and listen to that. That was so good. I think we're picking up on that, right? That was sort of some groundwork, actually, for what we're going to talk today, which is the coffee challenge, the coffee challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a beautiful title. It just really jumps at you. Y'all like coffee?
Yeah, the coffee challenge, man. I like it. So what is the coffee challenge?
So, when our grandfathers used to do life, they would say, hey, let's go have a beer. That was kind of a manly thing, right? Like, hey, Chris, let's get together and have a beer one of these days.
Yeah.
Well, now it's kind of become, let's get together and have a coffee.
Yeah. Or caramels.
A what?
Coffee or caramels. It's a Good Will Hunting reference, dude. Let's have coffee.
I didn't pick it up.
You ever see that movie?
I love Good Will Hunting too.
Come on. He was talking to Minnie Driver. He's like, let's have coffee or caramels. Anyway.
Okay. I do know. If you would have said, how about them apples or something, I would have been with you. But
all right. Sorry. Okay. I totally distracted you.
You did not. I love that you bring levity to all things. I love that about you. Okay. So here's the idea. Here's the concept behind the coffee challenge. Why do we name it the coffee challenge? And why do we believe this is like, even though so simply said, that it's the most impactful thing you can do for your business?
Yeah.
So coming off the heels of the trust triangle, obviously, assuming we have done the work and we've had the conversations with ourselves and we've asked ourselves, what are our value proposition? What are we looking for other people? What makes us trustworthy? What are we good at? And then we're in an arrows out moment where we're ready to go and reach out to other people and say, hey, let's meet. Let's get to know each other and let's find, if we have a common why, and then let's go on a mission together, right? Those are 3 steps. So you get to know them, you find out what makes them tick, right? Yeah. And then you figure out if you can help each other reach each other's goals.
Those are the 3 steps. Get to know them, find out about them.
Yep.
Or like their mission, like what's their mission?
Why? Know their why, like what gets them out of bed, what let them do who they are. Yeah.
And then see if there's a common mission, a common thing that we can support each other in. Got it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm into the Bible, and there's this idea of yoking. Like back in the day, they had oxens and they would stick the yoke on 2 oxens. And the idea is each oxen would carry a part of the load, the payload that they're doing. And, that's a good analogy for like, can you hook your oxen to that, your yoke to them? And can you guys, carry the payload? I always say that you're in a good relationship when you take an earnest interest in paying for their kids to go to college. Like you go out of your way, because why would you do that? Because you like them and you care about them. It matters. That matters to dad. Yeah, it's a good thing. So coffee challenge. Why a coffee challenge? So I'm going to give you kind of a little bit of what I think we should do, Chris, if it's okay with you, is like, hey, here's what the coffee challenge is.
Yep.
And then recognizing that there's some steps to it and we're not going to get to them today.
Yeah.
Do future podcasts on them. Is that okay?
I love it. Yeah, let's do it.
So coffee challenge is this. It's an intentional 40-day plan where you pick up the phone after you've done some work of building some lists. So you got to qualify your list, and that's a whole nother topic. So we'll do that another time. But assuming you have all your lists, and we'll talk about, what your list should do. Here's the questions you should ask yourself. Who makes up the list? Here's how you build it. Here's how many people you need. Here's what categories. Like we could talk about all that. But assuming that's all done, teaser, coffee challenge.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I've written pages and pages and pages, and I have like so much to give that I don't know how to give it in bite-sized pieces.
I know, man. That's what we're doing here. I think that's what's so great about this show, dude, is like we get to kind of unpack it over time. Yeah.
And I tell you, I dream about it, Chris. I think
you're showing great restraint.
There's a point in your life when you have done so much, and you get to a point when, like my wife asked me this morning, and I'm going to overshare a little bit, but humor me. So my wife, I've conditioned her that I'm this guy, right? I've built my life. My identity has been in what I do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
in the last 6-8 months, I've been working on who I am and why I do what I do instead of what I do. I am not, Chris, how many times do you get together and you meet a fellow guy and he says, what do you do for a living? Like
right.
We've developed a culture where our value is associated to what we do. Now, I think there's some truth to that. There's some organic piece to that that's good. Like if you sit on the couch and do nothing, then, you're not bringing a lot of value to the world.
Right.
So I get it that when we go out and do proactive behaviors, we're creating value for others, and income and value are commensurate. I get it, right? But value is not, can I pick up crap from here and move it over to here and be the coolest when I do it? or the best when I do it. Value is can I get other people around me to do it with me? And can I do it with them? You know, I started a nonprofit a while back, and I didn't actually start the profit. I just started the nonprofit. As far as structure, I just started doing the activities. We called it Feed Kitsap. I live in Kitsap County. And what I learned was, why invent anything when you can just get a bunch of people to go help someone else do what they've already been working their butts off at? So why start another feeding center to feed people if I can just get all my buddies together? We can go get a bunch of food. So Susie, who's there every day, giving her life's work to this feeding center, already has the widget built, already has people showing up who need food, and I could just bless her and then go help her put it on her shelves. That's feeding Kitsap. That's the idea. So this coffee challenge is it's an earnest desire to go and partner with as many people as possible. So don't miss that, because it's not about how can I go make a lot of friends so they can send me some money, so they can give me opportunities. It's can I partner with others and help them reach their goals? If how many people, Chris, do you think you can have an earnest investment into?
I mean, it starts to take time. Relationships take time. So, I mean, maybe anywhere from 10 to 30.
Well, Jesus had 12.
Yeah.
And then he had an inner circle of 3. So I'm thinking like, it's probably not realistic to think that we can be in a large level relationship with 30 or even 100. We'd probably have to, somewhere around the 12 mark, we'd probably have to have controller growth moment where you have someone else come along our team and help us serve people, right?
Yep.
I think.
Good. I think that's good. I like that.
I like that. And so when you look at our Cadre concept, as we put out the graph, we have the kind of an inner circle of 3 to 5. We have a semi outer circle of 12 to 15, and we got these layers of goes out to 72, and then there's everybody else. So in the coffee challenge, you're kind of starting out here, and then what you're going to do is you're going to go meet a bunch of people that do the 10-3-1 philosophy.
10-3-1. I was just thinking 10-3-1, which you mentioned last episode.
Philosophy. I write that down. It's called the law of averages. If you don't know the law of averages exists, then you'll beat your head against the wall trying to figure out why you're not the exception to the rule. But the truth is everybody who gets to here had to start here and work their way in the law of averages.
Right.
The guy who usually has more relationship has put more time into building it.
That's good.
So start out here, coffee challenge. Who are the people that I think have the attributes, the qualities, their mission is alignment? Like, what are some things about my story that I want to go find in other people so that we can work together? Like, I found you, Chris, because our friend, Michael Mayer, referred me to you. I trust him because he's been a valuable person to me, and one of my friends works for him and she loves him, and like there was enough story there that when I asked for a referral and he gave it to me, I took it. And I never shopped around for another person like you. I never looked for another person to partner with like you, because I already trusted you because you came from people that I cared about. Right. I think that's how it works, right? Yep. And now me and you are going to be friends. We're going to go make a difference. We're on the same mission. So this coffee challenge, it's what do I want to build? And then now I got to have a proactive behavior to go get it. So the coffee challenge in its purest form is how do I go meet 40 people in 40 days, which is hard, by the way. And then I got to go have 15 to 20 minute meetings. So I buy a coffee card, and I think, the average coffee experience is about $5. You don't drink coffee, by the way, when you go to coffee challenges. You only drink water. They drink coffee. You're there to serve them and get to know them. You're buying them a coffee. You meet them at the register. What coffee can I get you? You pay for it. You sit them down, and then you keep that servant mindset, and you say, tell me more about yourself. What makes you, and then they're going to give you the surface answer. And then you're going to say, why? You get down to like me, if you ask me, my why is deep, and I'd love to tell you about it because it means a lot to me, just like it does to you, right? But I'm not going to give you it on the first go. You're going to have to earn that. You have to be, right?
By digging, by asking questions.
Right. So do you think that on the first date, I'm going to be able to learn your why? It's not going to happen. I might get a taste of it. I might get little pieces, little kernels that I can write down in my notes, right? But I got to I got to take the time to build a qualified list of people who I think fit. And I got to ask other people, like, Chris, who do you know that is in this particular field that you think a lot of? Because I need to know as many people in that field as I can to help me reach my mission. Right. I like to liken it to building a house. Very few people can do the framing, do the drywall, do the electrical, do the plumbing, do all the finished carpenter, do the roof. There's all these different tradesmen it requires to build a house because it's specialized training and licenses and different things and experiences. So the only way for me to build a house is I got to find all these people that can help me build it. Right. And I got to find out that they have the same mission and they hold themselves to the high standards that I hold myself to. And then, Does that make sense at all?
Yeah, totally. I love this. It reminds me of Think and Grow Rich, where, you know, he just talks about a mastermind principle. Like, you actually have a common goal, and we all get to serve the mastermind, or we get to serve the project from our respective specialties. Yeah. But I love this piece where you're adding the mission. It's not just an outcome we're trying to accomplish. It's accomplishing something together because we're connected. There's connection, which I love.
Preach it, brother. Preach it.
Come on, preach it.
So here's where it goes. So coffee challenge. I'm going to kind of leave the coffee challenge kind of to the side a little bit, but the idea is what activities would you take in preparation to have this Herculean effort of calling people for and going and earnestly seeking them out? Right. I mean, do you know how hard it is to put people first? That's a muscle you got to flex. It takes time.
Yeah, big
so
time.
You're going to go to these meetings and you're going to realize you're going to be in this meeting and you're going to last for 6-7 minutes with the plan, asking questions. And before you know it, you're going to be like, oh, let me tell you what I know. Yeah. Start spewing of the mouth, right? So it takes some time. And we believe this 40 thing is not only going to help you find some friends and find some people that you can do mission with, but it's also going to teach you how to be a good friend. It's going to teach you how to be a student of the 2 ears, 1 mouth process. And then you take this data and then you go home and you actually earnestly look at it. You say, okay, like, who is Chris Angel? What makes him tick? What is his goal? And what am I doing where I could come alongside him? Who do I know that can help Chris? And you start to ask these questions, and then boom, you start to build a cadre.
Yeah. Ooh, that's exciting. You start to build the cadre. I love this. It's all, look, guys, it all connects. One of the things I've learned about Shane now is that it all connects. There's a lot of different threads, but like the coffee challenge is connected to the cadre. It's connected to the work that there is to do. What Shane is, for sake of time, I'm thinking so we're talking about what the cadre, what the coffee challenge is, which is 40 days. We're going to talk to 40 people. We're going to get to know them. We're going to see it through 10-3-1, right? Talk to 10 people to find 3 you really connect with, to partner with 1. Like, we're going to start to filter people out to find our inner circles. And then I'm guessing, and this is probably where we can go in future episodes, but then we're going to have a core group to go do some some intentional work in the world. Yes. Like, this is what the coffee challenge is leading us to.
Yeah. So before you know where you want to go, you need to know what it's going to look like when it's going to get there. At least have an idea, right? That helps you. Yeah. If an artist sets out with tapestry and kind of has an idea what he's creating, he's going to do that. It may become a different work, which, by the way, this journey we're on will not be the way you think it's going to turn out. I mean,
that's a good point.
I met this one guy, and I'll tell a really quick story, but he was a client of mine who was buying a house, and I'm looking at his tax returns. I'm talking over. I'm like, are you what is this parking thing you're doing? I don't understand. Like, he's like, well, I work for the city of Seattle, and one day I accidentally ran into this opportunity where I was helping this major company figure out ingress and egress and parking stalls because we needed to make it fit into the city orientation and kind of what was going to happen. And I did it, and I kind of liked it. Before you know it, I did a little bit more. And then, 20 years later, I was the county's specialist in parking, ingress and egress, and how people got parked. He's like, I would have never thought I would be a professional how to park a bunch of cars into a space and have them flow. Right. He's like, so then I retired, and then I realized I really like that because it's cool. So I asked myself, if I were to engineer the perfect life, what would I engineer? And he said, I would do this parking thing, but only if it allowed me to do the following things. So he wrote a list, and he said, I told myself I wanted to travel the world. So I figured, if I did this parking thing, is there parking all over the world? Okay, there is. And there's this thing I'm going to show you guys at some point that says, does the world need it? Am I good at it? Like, it's a little chart that I've made. Or I think I stole it. I don't think I actually made anything, by the way. But it's a chart that we figured out, and this is like your purpose thing. Like, you check off these 4 things, and if they all work, then you should do this.
Yeah.
But anyways, long story short, and then he said, and I got to be able to take my wife, and I got to be able to get a place and put her there, and I want to only work this many hours. And so now he spent the last 15 years traveling the world, building parking, and he works for 4 hours a day, and then he goes out and sees the world with his wife, and that's their retirement plan.
Wow.
Kind of cool, right?
Yeah, it is cool. Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe slowing down and just kind of getting back to what is this coffee challenge and why are we doing all these things, and kind of why am I taking this time to tell you?
Well, hit me with, I think we've already covered sort of the gist of the coffee challenge, from a high level, right? And I think what I'd like to do in maybe the follow-up episodes is like, let's unpack some of the pieces to it, because there's more to it. You talked about the whole, right? How do we create the list? We talked about we can kind of unpack that here in future episodes, but leave me with one thought on how, just creating our own cadre. Like, what is at the heart of the coffee challenge is what?
So here's what I believe a cadre is. In definition, it's a group of highly skilled people formed to reach a common goal, like a mission, right? That's why I love the word cadre, which is just a cool word. I'm a military guy, and it's a military word, and there's a lot of work that takes in to be highly skilled, right? There's a lot of work that becomes highly skilled, and you got to trust, you got to really respect someone who put in the work to be skilled, and that's going back to my house analogy. I'm infatuated with the cadre concept because I spent so much time in my life trying to, expecting things in return and trying to go out into the world and make money. And I did. I made a bunch of money. But when I got to the end of it, I just never could seem to figure out, it was either never enough or it never quite gave me the life I wanted, or there was always someone cooler than me. And I started to realize that I just don't want to pursue something that's so fickle. It's not real. Yeah. I want to pursue relationship and community in a way that, so one of the things that I was challenged to do by a coach is write a eulogy. You ever written a eulogy, Chris?
It's been a while, but yeah.
Oh, buddy. You're one of the first people I've ever met that I tried to write it, and it kind of tore me apart, because when I got to I tried to write it, and everything that I thought was important wasn't important on the eulogy. It was like, what do I want people to say about me? What impact do I want to make in the world? And it kind of got me to think differently. So maybe if you're out there and you're thinking, how do I kind of wrestle with this why and figure out how to build my own cadre? If your cadre is, hey, I want to surround myself with a bunch of people who make me money, that'll be the center of your cadre. And you'll only be as good as if you're not making people money, then you won't be valuable anymore. So something happens there, right? Yeah. But if you add value to their life, the cadre concept starts to take shape. And what you realize is no one does the mission alone. When you are working earnestly to help other people do the mission. And I know it sounds super corny, but it really is the secret sauce in it all. And the more I learn it, the more I realize that I can not have the control or growth.
Yeah. Ah, so good. I love it. Well, that's perfect. That's a great takeaway, and that makes it actionable. So for those of you listening, go try out the eulogy thing. Go write that out. Shane, let's cover some more of this in future episodes. For now, thanks for your time today, your wisdom. I love the show, and I look forward to talking to you in the next one.
All right. Don't drink and drive.
See ya.